There we go.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. We hope everyone had a wonderful, blessed weekend. As you can see, I have my usual partner in crime, Cindy DeMant, and we have our very special guest, Shawn, intentional carnivore. We are super excited to have him on. We've been trying to get this scheduled a few times, so we are so happy that you were able to come on and make it on with us, Shawn, because you definitely have an amazing journey and story that has inspired so many. So we are so excited to have you on. So thank you for making time for us.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. It's been a while, and just getting everything set up. Don't take it personal. It's been like that with everybody lately for me, but I am glad that we got it finally worked out and got everything together and was able to meet up. I'm honored to be able to speak and continue sharing my story.
Yes,
Hopefully I can
because
get back to doing it more.
you have seriously been missed.
Yes, you
I'm
definitely have.
sure.
But anyone that does follow you, they know you did have a lot going on behind the scenes, which definitely life will be life. We just have to, keep our prayers up and just kind of take one day as it comes. And kind of just be grateful for each and every day that we do get. So definitely it was understood. No personal offenses taken from Cindy or myself. We definitely understood. But we
Absolutely.
do have a lot of people in the chat already. So let's take a look here. So
I
we have
can't. Yeah,
Susan.
in case you're looking on my channel, I cannot see it for some reason. My computer systems tell me to log in, but it is streaming to my channel. So hey, everybody, and if I don't see your comments, hopefully you guys can see them. So
Yes, I'll be pulling up each comment here because let me see. Yep, you're definitely streaming on your end.
Oh, yeah, because there's a lot of names I don't recognize.
So here
Welcome
we
to
have Susan,
everyone.
hey Sean, and everyone from South Carolina. Welcome. Here we have Donna joining the chat. Hello.
yeah, good to see everybody. Oh, and you're right, Santa. I mean, for a lot of people know that right after Thanksgiving, I wrecked my
Hmm.
car.
Hmm.
It seems like everything the devil could throw at me, he was throwing at me. Like it
Oh
was like
yeah.
I was trying to be a moving target, and he had my number, and it gets more real. I had you know the just to break it down, his job is to steal, kill, and destroy, and that's all
Oh,
he's ever going to be
absolutely.
about. And
Yep.
he's at work full time doing that job,
Hmm.
and it's easy for me. Like I even told Dr. Barry whenever we were talking, I said, the one thing that I've learned through my journey is I'm a lot closer to where I came from than where I'm going,
Yep.
because it's easy for me even to fall back into my comfort zone, into my what I feel comfortable with, and to do those things. So it's a struggle. I don't have it all figured out by no means. I've had some great success, and I've had some
Hmm.
great failures.
Oh,
But
absolutely. Yeah.
I have learned, I am learning, and I can't wait to get back on here full time and get back in the community, because I need this community more than you guys realize. Um, because it's a support system, and it's
Hmm.
knowledge, and it's you don't realize how much you need it until you do like I do, and like you can ask Larry Berquist. I
Right.
isolate.
Right. Yeah.
I isolate. I won't talk to my family. I won't talk to my friends. I just close up in this bubble, and
Hmm.
that's an extremely dangerous thing to do.
It
Um,
is. That for
Even if you've
sure.
had success, doesn't mean you're not uh, insulated from failure again. It just happens. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I definitely agree. It could definitely be a dangerous thing, especially in this community. You don't have to be alone. So the
hmm
fact that somebody would put themselves in isolation, having this great community that we have, yes, it could definitely get to be a really scary thing because there's so much just love and support out there.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
for anyone that has come across any judgment or dogmatic. There is so much positivity out there. You just have to
oh
look
yeah.
in all the right places. So anyone that feels like parts of the community have not been welcoming, keep looking. Keep
Oh
looking.
yeah.
and you will definitely
Absolutely.
find that full-on
Yeah.
support that is not going to come with any judgment at all.
I'm
This
trying
is Cindy's sister here, Deb Riley. Hi, Cindy. Sana and Shawn, I'll be listening on my way home. Safe travels to you heading home. Sandra, so glad you're here.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of love in this community. Like, if it
So
weren't for
much,
people
yeah.
like obviously my mom's gonna check on me, but I got to call James Burrows back because he called me yesterday and I haven't talked to him yet. I absolutely love James. I love Larry. I love Kip. I
Yes,
love all
yes.
those guys, and they check on me. You know, they'll call in.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, it's been 1 year to the day since Kip, Dave Mack, and myself brought our first guest on the show that we did. So. 1 year
Oh,
today, 1 year
wow.
ago today. So we got to get back to
Yeah,
doing that, man. It meant
I
a
was
lot to
just
the
gonna say
community.
that. You gotta get
Yeah.
back on there.
yeah, no, most definitely,
Mhm.
because those Friday nights were a lot of fun. But yeah, Kip and I literally met Kip right when both of us had started carnivore initially. So we like literally met exactly at the same time. So that's why him and I, oh my gosh, I consider him like a little brother to me
Oh yeah, me too.
because
That's how I
he
view
really
Kip.
truly, yes. Oh,
Yep.
Annette's saying it is so good to see you again. You've been missed. You have been in my prayers. No, absolutely. Prayers are definitely always appreciated.
Absolutely.
Dawn is saying welcome back. Cordelia, good afternoon from Albany, New York. Welcome, welcome. Here we
Yes.
have Karen. John is in the house. Hello, Shawn. I miss you, brother. So definitely a lot of love coming your way.
There's a lot of them.
Hi to you
Absolutely.
too, Sana. I sent my message too soon. Oh, we're glad that you could make it, Lynn. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah. Hey, hey,
Mrs.
hey.
Donahue. Hey. Here we have Shawn showing love. Here we
Yeah, man.
have Dr. Nelson. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hey, so good to see you.
Lexington, South
Lexington, South
Carolina
Carolina.
here. Welcome, welcome. We have a lot of South Carolina in the house.
Yeah,
That's where a lot of my family is.
that's where my sister lives too, in South Carolina.
Okay.
Oh, thank you for showing love on both ends, Susan. We definitely
Absolutely.
appreciate
Absolutely.
you.
So how have
Here
you
we
guys
have
been?
ground beef guy.
I've been good.
Good
I've been
deal.
really
Good deal.
good.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, me as well. Just keeping really busy,
Yeah.
putting in a lot of work hours. Like I was telling Cindy, it's like bi-weekly. It's like I've been putting in 100 hours at work,
Oh
literally
yeah.
getting off of work to go use the restroom and right into homeschooling because I
Oh wow.
homeschool our two boys.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then, of course, 26, oh no, tomorrow, 27 weeks pregnant. So
Oh wow. And
definitely a
YouTube.
lot going on
And doing some YouTubing.
and doing some YouTubing.
Yeah.
Now, could you ever imagine doing that before when you were just piling up on the standard American diet? That's one of the things when I eat off plan a little bit or
Yeah.
something, I can
Hmm.
tell in my brain function. That's the
Oh,
one of the
yeah.
first things that I can tell is my brain function starts just going haywire, and it's like I run in circles all day.
Well,
Yep.
I pushed my body when I was on standard American diet because I was managing a doctor's office. So I was working anywhere from like 60 to 70 hours a week. And best believe that resulted in me collapsing in our house
Oh
because I pushed my body too much to the point, and then I also caused myself to end up having like low iron, so I ended up
yeah.
being like very anemic. So it definitely ran a lot of havoc on my body.
Well, I remember when you were in the hospital last year or whatever, and we were all
Yeah,
Mhm.
last May, wasn't it?
mm-hmm,
It
it's about a year
literally
ago.
just hit a year.
Mhm.
Thanks to kind of going down to like a complete elimination, being on carnivore, I was able to find out that I actually had like these white lesions on my brain, on the left side of my brain. And thankfully, the doctor that I had, and this is nothing knocking like US American doctors, but
Mhm.
because specifically this foreign doctor, he did have a lot of knowledge, more so being meat based. So he said, he was like, can I tell you? He was like, this carnivore way of eating that you're doing, uncomplicated. Your entire body that being on an elimination way of eating, your body was able to tell you, like, hello, like, we've had this going on, like, go and get this checked out. So
Hmm.
I was grateful for him having, that kind of knowledge from his culture.
So,
Um,
Shawn,
Hmm.
you've been a little MIA for a while, and I'm sure everyone in the chat would like to know what you've been up to, how are things going, and
You
all
know,
that kind of thing.
absolutely. And I got so much content to make. That's what I was telling somebody else. Overall, things are looking much better. As far as me getting a grip on things, which is the hardest part, I guess, is us to come to terms with what all's going on. Dad's doing all right. As far as the cancer, he's starting back some. He's been taking his chemo, and he's got some more treatments coming in Wednesday. He was over Saturday. Um, and we get together once or twice, a month, or try to, schedule a time for us to make sure that we can get together. Um, as far as that's concerned, I've been extremely stressed. Um, I to be 100% honest, you can tell, like, I put on a little bit of weight. I like deviated from carnivore for a little bit and was adding stuff back in,
mhm,
um, stuff that I knew I had no business having, and I'm an addict at the end of the day. Even with the success,
yeah,
even with the massive weight loss, I knew the whole time I'm an addict. And it
we
doesn't
all
take very
were.
much to get you an addict,
Yes.
and I have a strong mind, obviously, from the
Mhm,
things that I've been able to do. But it doesn't matter what you've done, it's what you're doing today and right now that is what matters. And you got to make the choices and stick with it. And so, I struggled for a little while. I am eating carnivore. I'm back to eating my steaks and hamburger. And my wife, I had eggs and bacon for breakfast this morning. She's been getting up and making some eggs and bacon for me to eat and stuff like that, just because I'm a beef, butter, bacon, and egg guy. When I eat carnivore, that's all I really want. And it's
mhm.
satisfying to me. And it absolutely 100% works. And so I got a long way. I got a lot to learn yet. Definitely still learning. But what what Steve say? How are you doing with your weight, Shawn? Still losing, maintaining, gaining? I gained some of. You can tell by looking at my face. I'm all swollen. Not to mention being out in the hot sun swells me up right now. But
Oh, yeah.
I put on a little bit of weight. I'm above where I was. I had lost 296 pounds. I was at 161. I'm not exactly sure what I am today because I haven't weighed, but I can tell because my clothes are starting to get a little tighter on me. Just adding stuff back in little by little, and it's usually a slow drift for me. So I got to get back to just the regular beef, butter, bacon, and eggs that I like, that's sustaining for me, and quit giving into those addictions, man.
No, you absolutely will. And like Alyssa's saying here, a lot of us are addicts. And that right there, I think that is the hugest mental gain, is to admit that to ourselves, because people have to
Oh yeah.
understand addiction comes in so many different forms.
Hmm.
And, food addiction is one of those things that people, they don't take that statement serious enough, that it truly is a food addiction.
Hmm.
Because look how tempting it be sometimes to try to get back to those kind of foods, with having a lot of things in our life, whether it's a lot of chaos happening, an ill family member, there could be these emotional triggers that make us try to go back to those kind of foods that were not the best for us. So yeah, I completely agree, Alyssa.
Hmm. And it's not even about knowing what to do versus what not to do. I would
Right.
say for the majority of us, especially if you've been in this community any amount of time, you know what you should do and you know the
Mhm.
decisions you should make, just like I do. The difference is knowing what to do and doing what you're supposed to do is not the exact same thing. If we all did what we knew was right for us to do, we wouldn't have ended up in the shape that we're in. So it's definitely a struggle. And there again, it goes back to the community. Community helps. The prayer helps. The setting those routines. When I get knocked out of a routine, and get thrown out, that's whenever I have to start readjusting and have to understand that, look, I got to make better choices. And the longer you do it, the better off you'll be, obviously, and the easier it'll be for you to not give into those decisions, because you're like, look, I feel so good. I could definitely tell when I don't, but it doesn't take very long. I can assure you, it doesn't take but about a month for your depression to come back,
Yeah.
full force.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't take
Yep.
very much for the achy joints to come back, for the sadness and all those things. So it definitely doesn't take very long.
Mhm.
I don't think it has to all be publicized. I don't think you got to make a spectacle out of it. At the same
Exactly.
time, what are we going to do differently
Right.
going forward to keep us from ending it back up in the same position that we were in? That's the main
Exactly.
thing to
Yeah.
figure out. So I'm doing a lot better than I was. I'm not doing as good as I want to be. If that hopefully that answers your question a little bit.
It does.
Yeah.
And, reality is life happens and you've been through
Oh
a
yeah.
lot with your
Absolutely, yeah.
dad. That's not hard. That's not easy.
Oh
Mhm.
no.
That's like, it's really tough when they're any member of your family, but especially
Exactly.
your parents.
Right.
It's like, wow. What now? I remember when my dad was really sick. He had heart issues. He died at the age of 56 from a massive coronary. I mean, he was just, and, it was hard. I was only 25 when I lost my dad. So it was like,
Mm-hmm.
I said, he
Mm.
was so young, and you just don't even think that.
Mm.
When somebody's only in their 50s, it's like, whoa, hello, that's not cool. But you've
Yeah.
been
Oh
through
no.
a lot, so you know just how it makes you feel.
Oh
And
yeah.
the most important thing is that you take care of you, so you can be there for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
that's the hardest lesson we need to learn, is that
Exactly.
even though we have that why, and
Mm-hmm.
supposedly you have a why that makes you cry,
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely.
but
I got
even
more than one
around
why.
about that, if you remembering, for us, all of us, to remember to
Mhm.
take care of ourselves so
Oh,
that we
you
can
have
be there
to.
for that why.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. No, you have
That's
to.
so
You have to
important.
provide that self-love and that self-care, because how are you
Mhm.
gonna care for anyone if you haven't taken care of yourself first? And I think
If you're
that
ill.
is, aside from being food addicts, a lot of us took care of everybody else first.
Oh
We always
yeah.
put ourselves last. We always were on the back burner. Everything
Yeah.
came first, whether it was like a career, whether it was like a spouse or relationship, kids, we always came last. We were not used to, like, once we took on this journey, you really had to teach yourself, like, one of the biggest non-scale victories was learning to self-love, self-care. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people try to say when you take care of yourself, you're being selfish. No, it's not being
No.
selfish, because how can you properly be there for anybody? Whether you are an influencer, whether you are a father, a significant other to somebody, anybody in your circle, like, how can you be of value if you have not taken care of yourself?
Oh,
Because sooner
100%.
or later, you're going to get burnt out. Like, if you're not doing what you can do for yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and then you try to continue to give it your all, oh my goodness, would you get burnt out quickly?
Mhm.
If you're not willing to care for yourself, you're 100% going to get burned out. It's only a matter of time, because
Yeah,
there's way more
sure
people
is.
out there than you'll ever be able to reach. And I do have
Mhm.
to say, you know, that is a key point. And like, helping people, it's amazing. Somebody in the chat, Dr. Nelson, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that a lot. But the people that have messaged me and said, listen, you have helped me so much in my journey, or something that you said from your story really touched me, or whatever, and that means a lot to me. At the same time, it means the world to me to know that I could have that kind of impact, because that's 100% why I do it.
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm also not going to get on here and be a hypocrite and start
Mhm.
preaching at people to do something that I'm also not putting into practice. If I like, it doesn't do me very good to help all these people if my family is suffering right here at home or I'm suffering, whatever. If I'm not taking care of those directly in my responsibility, which, like I said, I don't have it all figured out. I'm still learning. 20,
Right.
22 years of marriage. I'm still learning how to be a good husband. My daughter just turned 13 yesterday.
Wow.
Oh,
My
wow.
baby's a teenager.
Happy
My
birthday,
son's
sir.
16. Yeah, Ashlyn, happy birthday, baby. But at the same time, that's my direct responsibility. I have to be there for them first. And if you're not willing to care for yourself, you're definitely not going to invest into others and figure out really what they need to be able to help them. But they're so amazing. I appreciate it. They're so nice, man, and it's amazing how,
Mhm.
how how they share with me these stories. Some of the emails that I've gotten over the last year have like I'll sit here and read them sometimes by myself, and it just brings me to tears to see
Mhm.
what an impact it's having on other people, man.
Yeah.
Because you never know how many other people they're going to be able to help, and indirectly, it's just passing those concentric circles on to help other people get their lives straightened out when they looked for those answers, couldn't find an answer, couldn't find a way, had lost hope, lost all sense
Mhm.
of direction. Um, you know, it's just amazing to see all the lives that have been touched. And I don't plan for it to stop. I plan on for it to keep going. I have to learn how to again deal with my issues and get a grip on those, and to be able to reach out and help other people though.
Yeah, and
Well, we,
I think the biggest thing is you have not given up at all. Like still
Oh
yet
no.
on like Facebook, you've consistently kept up with uplifting everyone, doing amazing motivational posts. So
Thank you.
even though because it's still takes a lot of work to do the lives, the blessing behind
Mhm.
them is we don't have to do any editing as influencers, but still it is a time commitment. People do have to realize it's a time commitment away from what we can do personally, having, time with significant other, having time away from kids, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So it still takes a little chunk of our day or our evening away from what we could personally, be doing with our time. But still, yeah,
Mhm.
you still have kept so consistent with the community. And I think it's huge. It's huge because having motivation like that really teaches people that you don't have to dim your light. You don't have to dim yourself, your journey, anything like that to uplift another person in the community.
Absolutely.
And I think that is like a huge takeaway when someone sees that consistent positivity, it's infectious
Oh yeah.
and they
Absolutely.
want to spread that to others. So I think that's huge. Like even more so than somebody just trying to inspire someone or motivate someone, I think just having that support and that positivity. Because a lot of people that first start, they don't need advice. Because sometimes
Mhm.
it could just be too overwhelming. It's kind of like they know just enough information, they have enough ground information of what they need
Mhm.
to do. They just need the support. They just need
Oh
someone
yeah.
to believe in them. And that's all they really need is just that encouragement and that person, like when they're having a rough day, just somebody just to talk to, not even any food advice.
Hmm. Oh yeah. When I was nearly 500 pounds, I didn't need anybody telling me I was overweight. I knew I was
Oh,
overweight.
yeah.
I didn't
Right.
need anybody telling me I was going to die. I knew I was going to die. What I need for somebody to tell me what to do is, one, tell me how to fix it. Give me a solution. Or two, get down here with me. That's what people really want. If you want to have a real impact on somebody, you don't have to say a word. Just go sit down with them. Go
Yeah.
sit down with them, get to know them,
Yeah.
and it will have an impact on them. I can assure you.
That's where these meetups are so important and so fun at the same time.
Oh yes,
Getting to sit
absolutely.
down with people that are in the same realm, the same mindset, the same, way
Mhm.
of eating, the same
Mhm.
whatever.
The same
It's just
mindset.
powerful.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
we just had one in Indiana on Saturday that I went
Hmm.
to, and I mean, it's just great because you get to see all these people. And James was there. You were talking about James Burrows. He's
Oh
great.
yeah, I
But
love
yeah,
him and Emily are the sweetest people in the world. I swear.
they are. They absolutely are. But
Ellen,
yeah,
hey,
just
hey,
sitting
friend.
down, getting that community together in one room
Hmm.
is just fantastic. It's like 2 weeks from now, my sister and I are going to Hack Your Health, and I am organizing a dinner for Friday night. And there's about 30 people that said, "Yeah, I would like to go with you." And it's like
Mm.
Wendy and Harry from Loving It on Keto, and a bunch of us. It's just it's going to be great.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
Dustin's another one. I was supposed to do a live with Dustin, and we couldn't make it work out. Dustin, I ain't forgot about you, brother. I still got your name wrote down. We got to make it happen. Mike Shaw. There's so many people I've been missing, man. I've been missing the community. All the thoughts and the
mhm,
prayers are appreciated too. Yeah, I mean it is so much fun, and just seeing those faces, man.
mhm,
It's a lot.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
great.
just like Peter's saying here, we are the drivers of our own wagons. If and when we fall off, we just need to suck it up, Buttercup here. Here's the
Hmm.
tail end of that.
That's true, but sometimes it's harder said than done. I mean, it's easier said
Hmm.
than done. Get
Yes.
that right here.
Yep, that's
No,
what you got to
it
tell
really is.
yourself. That's what you
Mhm.
got to tell
Yeah.
yourself, but it doesn't sound the same coming off somebody else's
No.
lips.
No. That's why, like, for me, I dealt with really bad mental health to the
Hmm.
point of like it was considered like clinical depression and anxiety. And I
Hmm.
will never, I've said this to a lot of people, I will never consider myself healed. I will always consider myself a work in progress
Oh
because
yeah.
when I tell you every single day that you can have just everything positive going on in your life. And I don't mean, negative things will happen in life, but I'm just saying positive as far as your thoughts, your
Hmm.
feelings about yourself, your outlook on life, those kind
Hmm.
of positive things, because negativity will happen. Just like we said, the devil will always be lurking. It is what you're doing now. Don't worry about the
Oh yeah.
devil. It's
That's
about what
right.
you are doing. You got to worry about what you're doing first. Don't worry about the devil, because if you're doing everything you got to do, you're going to be
Absolutely.
mentally, spiritually, emotionally strong.
Hmm. Well, the devil's going to attack you either way, and if you're not getting your hope and
Mhm.
your strength from
Yeah,
Christ, who is the only one strong enough to overthrow and has overcome Satan and all of hell at this point already, like that's where your strength has to come from. And he uses things such as, like I said, carnivore, keto, ketogenic,
absolutely.
the way we were designed to eat. He
Right.
uses this to show us, hey,
Mhm.
it's so simple. Don't complicate it.
Exactly.
Don't complicate it.
Amen.
And you don't have to fight the battles. He'll fight the
Mhm.
battles. You just got to put your trust in him,
Absolutely.
and quit trying to fight it and put your faith and
Exactly.
dependence on him. You don't have to figure out all these special concoctions of mix
Mhm.
mix this spice and this herb and take this
Right.
pill 3 times a day. You just have to eat what you were designed and intended to eat and not ingest the toxins. And it obviously works.
Right. Sean,
But when you lean on yourself and go with your own ideas, you end up falling off just like the rest of us, and we all struggle with it. But there you go.
right. Sana, just for real quick, can you go back to the previous comment from Sherry? If I could ask for prayers for Sherry's husband, he is in the hospital. He's having heart issues. He's having constant AFib. There's a lot going on there.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we'll write it down.
she's such a sweet person that her husband's been in and out of the
Yes.
hospital.
Yeah, that's
All righty.
stress, man.
Sorry. I just
Oh
wanted to
no,
make
no,
sure
it's
we
cool. You're
addressed
you're
that.
good. You're good. Here we have Margie with a question. Will Shawn go back to 2 meals, egg, steak, or switch to 3 protein meals? I personally can stay on track with carnivore as long as I eat 3 meals.
I eat twice a day, period. And it's steak and eggs, like you said. Same thing. I was eating.
Mhm.
I just there's nothing wrong if you need to eat three, eat three. What I found was, and I started off whenever I first started eating carnivore and came to this way of eating, I was eating 3 times a day, all the meat I wanted, and there's nothing wrong with that. Getting your nutrition up, getting the deficits that your body's had, nothing in the world. And even towards when I got towards my goal weight, my body wanted more. So sometimes even then I would have 3 meals a day. I'm not limiting myself
Yeah.
based on you know, a superficial idea or a pre-planned idea of, well, I need 2 meals tomorrow. I don't know what I need
Mhm.
tomorrow. I have to
Exactly.
put the right stuff in my body and let my body dictate to me what it wants and therefore give it that. When you start pre-planning your meals, well, I'm going to
Mhm.
have 3 meals tomorrow and 2 meals the next day and
Yeah.
4 meals down the road. How do you know what your body's going to need? Maybe you were more active
Right.
one day and used more nutrients and your body's going to want more. Maybe you were less active and your body's not going to need as much. So I mean, it really comes down 100% to putting the right things in and not putting the wrong things in, and listening to your body and those signals that your body gives
Right.
to keep your nutrition up. So I mean,
Right. It's
Exactly.
if
like
it takes 3 meals a day for her, eat 3 meals. There's nothing in the world wrong with that.
Yeah. As long as
eh,
you're listening to your body,
it's like
because
Dr. Barry says,
yeah,
eat when you're hungry, eat till you're comfortably stuffed.
comfortably
And
stuffed.
then stop.
And then that's
Yeah.
it.
And then
Yeah.
that's the beauty, finding out because everybody's comfortably stuffed is going to be different. We
Oh
were
yeah.
all uniquely made for a reason. We all are going to
Mhm.
have a difference of what it takes to be comfortably stuffed. So even
Well,
some might find it like appalling, like how much meat one
mhm.
can have on their plate, but no, like they should not feel any shame because that is what it takes to get them comfortably stuffed. There should be no shame in that. We're all going to be different.
I
Yeah, you
know it's
can't
hard,
get so stuffed that you can't move. That's a little uncomfortably stuffed.
right? Well, it's hard to explain to people how easy this is, and then when they say, "Well, how much fat and how much protein do I need?"
Right.
Well, I can't literally break that down. Well, that doesn't sound very easy. Well, it is easy. It just doesn't sound easy when you get that technical. Start eating it,
Mhm.
and you will understand how it is. If that makes. I know it's hard to understand and make sense out of that, but I promise you that's how it'll work.
And that's the thing. Embrace the simplicity. Do not make it more complicated than it has to
No,
be.
I agree. I
Oh,
agree.
so here you have Dr. Nelson's going to be there, Cindy.
Well,
Nice.
Dr. Nelson, if you'd like to join us for the dinner on Friday night, my email is on my channel. Send me an email. I'll add you to the list. We have about 6 people left that can go. And we've got to cap it at 30 people.
Yeah, that
Right now we're
location
about at
is
24.
beautiful. I Google location and it's very scenic. You guys are going to have an amazing time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely, Ron. It is definitely a journey and takes time. Yeah, and that's the thing. Embrace the simplicity, have patience, focus on the non-scale victories.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing. I was 30 pounds below my goal weight when when I started adding some weight back on. But
Yeah,
um, I don't know, man. It's good. Yeah, figuring it out. It's not that difficult. I mean, 296 pounds. I lost reverse type 2 diabetes, depression, anxiety,
yeah,
sleep apnea, off of all the blood pressure medications. I mean, it's not like I need it. It can't be any more clear what the answer is. Just like I said,
exactly.
determination to get up there and do it. Ron says taking off 125 pounds and gaining back 50 pounds this past year. I'm back on track. I can relate to what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I agree. Well, in the winter months, all I did was sit in the house. I didn't go, I wasn't working out very much. I wasn't outside. My job is at
Mhm.
home now. I basically sit at a desk all day at the house. So I wasn't getting out and doing anything outside. And I feel better when I get outside.
Yeah, and I really feel like that definitely deserves a lot of applaud because you got back on track. You didn't just sit around feeling sorry for
Mhm.
yourself. you had the knowledge, the tools, the resources to just get on track. And, that's for anybody. Do not feel sorry.
Hmm.
Like if you had time, does not matter how much time you had off plan, believe in yourself to just get back on track. And that's it. Don't look back. Just keep going. You know what you have to do because life is just life, like we said. You're gonna have those days, those months. Just know you deserve it and get back in
Oh,
there.
100%. Definitely. I agree. You would not believe the amount of people who may come even across this video or this interview and they have lost all hope. They've lost direction. They've looked everywhere that they can look. And just by chance, this video landed in their lap. And you may say something, Cindy may say something, I may say one thing and be able to reach
Mhm.
that person with a message that saves their life,
Absolutely.
and you never even know it. They don't comment in the
Right.
comment section. They don't send you an email. They
Hmm.
they say, well, if it works for them, it can work for me. And they
Yep.
go and they try it, and their life is completely and radically transformed. And you may never know, and knowing it is not the important part, but it's amazing to think, and that's what I think of. There's a lot that do mention, and we are thankful every time somebody sends those messages. It means a lot to us. Um,
Yes.
put in the comments section now, if there's somebody particular person that brought you, that told you about this, that you found out about it. Obviously Ken Berry is going to be a million times. I was like, the only person that saved more lives than Ken Berry is Jesus. I
Yes,
can tell you right now.
exactly
All right.
right.
So but there's somebody brought you, somebody told you about it, word of mouth, it really helps. And those of
And
us
it,
who have been helped and changed on this way of eating, it's our responsibility to do that, to tell other people. Don't
yeah.
hoard it and keep it to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because you gain a purpose.
I think everybody that listens to me or has watched my channel or anybody has watched our live streams knows that my sister got me started
Hmm.
back in 2020. And I thank her all the time. So,
Absolutely. And that's
yeah,
important, being
it's
a grateful heart.
powerful.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
that's what I
Mhm.
really feel because, anybody that has had any victory doesn't have to be scale. There's plenty of non-scale victories that supersede the scale victory, but I feel like you have a purpose. You
Hmm.
have gained a purpose. Use that purpose. And
Absolutely.
if you feel inclined, don't care about how many subscribers you're going to get because
Hmm.
like we're saying, there's going to be that one person that your story is going to resonate with. Just start a channel
Absolutely. I
because not
actually had
only
that wrote down to mention.
yeah, because not only would it possibly resonate with somebody else, but you're also going to have the benefit of having a video journal for yourself that in
Hmm.
those moments that you do feel like you're going to succumb to whatever it may be, whether it's food, whether it's negative emotions that you're going through and ending up going into like a deep dark place emotionally, look back, play those videos. Yes, you'll be
Hmm.
watching yourself, but it is going to be so empowering to you to see yourself in a positive light. And it's going to be a moment of self reflection.
I agree, 100%. I actually had that same idea wrote down. I was going to mention, I'll tell everybody thankful. I just hit 16K on my sub list, but I started making the first walking video, not caring if anybody ever saw it. It was all about just conversating back and forth with the
Yes.
people. Don't get me wrong, I'm extremely thankful
Right.
that it's worked the way that it has. But if it helps just one person to find hope, if it reaches one person with
Mhm.
the the one thing that they need, it was all worth it for me. You know,
Absolutely.
and so I had no idea that I would ever get to 16K or even 1K on
Right.
YouTube. And I'm extremely thankful. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a regular old just guy. I work a full time 40-hour job, and I cut the grass. I clean toilets today, matter of fact. You know, so
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just a regular dude, just like most everybody else. You know, I got stuff to take care of and stuff to do. But I've been blessed. The Bible talks about to whom much is given, much is going to be required.
Right.
And I've been given a blessing that is so much bigger on life than I ever deserved. And I feel like it would be a travesty for me to just hoard that and keep all that to myself. And I feel like it's something that I definitely enjoy sharing with other people. I love seeing other people's lives transformed and made so much better, because I feel like so many people, the majority, if not all of us, have accepted to live life, the hand-me-downs of life is what I call it.
Mm-hmm.
You live with the leftovers of life. You live in this one particular place. And I feel like you just need somebody to tell you that you don't have to accept that. You don't have to continue to live that way.
Right.
You can excel, you can thrive, and you can live life beautifully and how it was intended to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you don't have to continue living in depression. You don't have to continue living without hope. You don't have to continue living and existing. You can start thriving, and it's just one decision, one choice, one day, one meal. Start with your meal. Once your health gets right,
Yeah.
it's going to start seeping out into every other area of your life. It
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree because even, throughout that really dark place that I was in, I was suicidal. And
Mhm.
once I was able to come out of it, I was a mess because I went through all of this guilt of like, how dare I? How dare I take the life that I was blessed with for granted? How dare I
Mm.
take all the beauty, all the positivity that I was not capable of seeing?
Mhm.
So it's like you almost kind of go through this guilt trip with
Well,
yourself.
the devil tries to hit you on both sides. He had you depressed for so
Exactly.
long, and then when you
Mhm.
come out it, then you're all upset with yourself because you were like that.
Because I was
It's
like
like,
that, yeah.
listen, just put your foot down right now and move forward. It's over. You've been
Exactly.
changed. You've been transformed, and
Mhm.
you don't have to let it go. There was a book, I can't remember who it's by now. It's called Pseudo Guilt, and it's guilt that we hold over ourselves. That if To make a long story short, if God forgives you of something, but you won't forgive yourself, let me just tell you that your standards are not higher than God's standards. Forgive yourself and move
Exactly.
forward.
And move forward.
Same
Mhm.
thing with the love that you were talking about earlier. There have
Yes.
been many people who've commented on the channel. I'm sure there's a lot that are sub to the channel that don't exactly believe the same way I do, and that's
Mhm.
fine. Guess what? I love you anyway. I love you because of who I
Exactly.
belong to and the blessings that
Right.
I've been given. I don't love you because of what you do and the way that you believe. I love
Mhm.
because I am loved. I'm showing love. I forgive because I've been forgiven. That's the idea that I try to operate with.
It's so crazy. I had encountered this stranger at the store. Did not even exchange with her because, why would I tell a stranger, something so personal, like what I was going through? And just out of nowhere, this woman just said to me, she said, you know what? She's like, God doesn't have to forgive you. Don't wait on
Uh,
that forgiveness. She said, He's already forgave you. She's
that's
like,
right.
you are here today because He already forgave you. And there
Absolutely.
was not much to forgive because He knew your heart. He knew what you were going through. It was just for you to realize that
Hmm.
His love was the strength that you had to see, and that the love that you had to see that you were deserving of, to come out of that darkness. And
Oh,
imagine for like
absolutely.
a stranger to say this to me. So that's why for me, I was like, oh my gosh, like what more validation, do you need than a stranger coming forward?
That was a message for you. Whenever
Exactly.
Christ died for you, all of your junk was in the future. He
Exactly.
still chose to do it. You know what I mean? What kind of love is that he would do that? That's amazing to me.
Oh, here we have Shawn. Do you towards a kip at all? You can support each other. He's been struggling too.
Oh, I know. I know. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was struggling back, before I had wrecked my car and everything.
Hmm.
I talked to him once. I need to call Kip. I hadn't talked to him. We need to just get together on Friday and do our show.
Yes, 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 yes.
I
I
might
would
call him
say,
one day back, see what's going on.
right. I would
And
say with
Larry.
Kip, he knows what he has to do. So
Hmm.
I would say the way everyone's seeing his struggling, I just see it as life. You know, he's a young guy, um, young family altogether. So the way I see it is he's just going through life. He's just going
Yeah.
through life. He's keeping consistent. And I think that is huge that he keeps on keeping on. Um, and he's being accountable.
Hmm.
I think so many influencers can keep it like hush hush when, they're not putting it out there when they have these moments that they succumb. But he's not
Hmm.
choosing to do that. He's showing everyone, like, listen, I am human. These moments will happen. And I think it's huge. So I think that's the way we all can just kind of show support is just kind of be there in the
Hmm.
comment section, giving positive words. Don't come across judgy to nobody because, like, who really needs that? We were very hard on ourselves
Hmm.
prior to these journeys, starting off on these journeys. Even, Cindy and I last week, on our Friday Night Live, we were speaking about insecurities. You know, we still have little insecurities about ourselves. So we're
Uh-huh.
going to be hard enough on ourselves. So I think the best thing we can do is just be supportive. Just,
Oh yeah.
pour positivity into somebody. But for me, I don't see it as struggling because he has not completely thrown in the towel. He keeps on just going with everything
Hmm.
food wise, physical activity. But that's just going to be life sometimes. Not everyone's journey is going to look the same. Not everyone's
No.
journey is going to look perfection, where every single, month consistently they're going to have all, days out of that month where they kept carnivore, where they kept keto.
Hmm.
All of our lives are going to look different.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%.
Well, that's why this community is so important. There are those
Yes.
naysayers, and we've all had them, we've all seen them,
Mhm.
but
Oh
not
yeah.
letting them get you down is important
Oh,
because
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
they're just miserable people
Mhm.
that are trying to bring everybody else down.
Oh
And
yeah.
if they win,
Right.
that's not good.
No.
And see that was
It's
the
like,
hardest thing for me. I feel like whenever I first started doing the
hmm
YouTube thing because like my personality is I might not look like much, but I'm wound tight. If that makes any sense, I'm wound tight, and so when some people cut loose on me, it's like, listen,
Mhm.
my wife's like, just delete the comment and go on about your business. You don't have to respond to everything because like that's my nature. To be like, all right, well, let's go then, let's talk about it. I love you, but that I love my kids. I spank their tail when they need it, when they need to be disciplined. Like if you don't discipline someone that you love, you don't really love them, right? You don't
Exactly,
teach
right.
them the right from wrong. So I agree, absolutely. Sometimes there's some nasty people, and they're just miserable. And honestly, they're probably really reaching out. They really want
Mhm.
help, but they're
Mhm.
Yeah,
scared and prideful, and and all the things, man. So we love you too, even if you're a jerk. We love you,
right.
but we ain't gonna put up with you. But we love
Mhm.
Right.
we'll put up with you for about that long. How about that?
And that's
Thank
the
you for
thing,
that, Sherry.
some will be self-proclaimed experts.
Oh yeah.
So like on one of my meal videos, I had hot dogs. And mind you, they were clean ingredient organic hot dogs, but the person said, along the lines of like, how dare, and what on earth makes me think that that would be anything healthy.
Mm,
So, to me, I will comment back. I will
yeah.
be that one that I will comment back because I really think sometimes it is the lack of knowledge. Sometimes, yes, it might be like a little bit of, ignorance. Because like we mentioned, Dr. Barry, not many
Mm,
watch every single one of Dr. Barry's videos. Like he has tons of videos going like way back years worth.
oh yeah.
But he's been the number one advocate that don't worry. if you have to have hot dogs, if you have to have spam, if you
Yeah.
have to have those cheaper cut of meats that some, might frown upon, do what works for you and what works for your budget. And I
Right.
think a lot of people, they fail to realize that. They think that, all of us need to be having like every single meal just ribeyes galore, but not everybody's budget is set up like that.
Right. If you can do it, if you can't, do what you can do. All you can do is
Absolutely.
the best you can with what you've got. I mean, how you,
Exactly.
even that's another unintended stressor that you put on yourself. Well, I ate all these hot dogs. It wasn't ribeyes, but it was, you know, this you don't need to stress. High cortisol will keep your body and your
Oh yeah.
weight and everything else from stabilizing as well. It's not good to run with high cortisol all the time.
Exactly. Especially not to stress on the food. I mean, it could be so simple. Do not stress about the food.
You want to have
Michelle has a
COVID.
good question.
Yes. So anyone have the vid on carnivore way of eating? I'm struggling with
Mm,
what to eat when sick with the vid.
Whenever I would get, I don't know that I don't think I had COVID while I've been eating carnivore, uh,
Hmm.
except for maybe around Keto Palooza. I know Larry and them did, so
Oh,
I
okay.
think they were diagnosed with COVID. I don't think I was
Mhm.
diagnosed with COVID. I just felt like I was gonna die sick. But I would just eat whatever I could. Like a good thing is beef
Mhm.
or chicken broths. The
Yes.
broths are great, sauce stuff like that. But like if you can tolerate the meat, eat whatever you can tolerate as far as the meat's concerned.
Absolutely.
'Cause your body needs those nutrients. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
I would say first concentrate on getting well, then worry
mm,
about
Mhm.
getting back on track. If you go off track because you want something that really is going to make you feel good,
Right.
yeah. Well,
because
the sugar and toxins
that's
is gonna
getting well
probably
is
add.
first.
I think the nutrients will help you get better though. That's
Get
what I'm
better.
saying.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
As far
That's
as
what
concerned.
I did. Yeah, so just like Sean saying, we did have like I just made a big pot, like just kind of like in my Ninja Foodie pot of just like chicken and water and salt and just kind of made like just like a chicken soup. And sometimes I was able to have the chicken with the broth, and sometimes I was just able to just have the straight up broth. So
Hmm.
very much so whatever you can get in your system. Like, don't worry about not being able to like really pack in when it comes to like the comfortably stuffed and getting a
Oh,
whole bunch of meat in. Just get enough like that you can tolerate it because the last thing you want to do is cause more havoc to what you're already dealing with. So truly like whatever you're able to tolerate, because literally that's what I did. I just consistently kept making like pots of that chicken broth, and
hmm.
that's mainly what we had, like completely like as an entire household, because we just did not have any desire for any solid meats. We just the fat, and we love the fat, but just the fatty meat was such a turnoff because it's kind of like you're dealing with a harsh cough sometimes. That
Hmm.
was like really a symptom that we struggle with in our house was a harsh cough. And aftertaste of a fatty cut of a buttery fatty cut of meat on a normal day is appealing, but having it come up like a dry cough, not so much. So
Oh yeah.
definitely whatever you can tolerate.
You think I'm against going to getting some of those egg life wraps and cutting them into little noodles and putting them in some
Little
chicken broth and some chicken and having chicken noodle soup?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
there's all kinds of stuff out there.
Yep.
Hope you get to feeling better if you are dealing with that though.
Yes.
Yeah, just like Peter saying, I want to be alive, thrive for the birth, weddings, etc. My future grandkids I've had continue the way I was going. I would have been dead in 19 years or less.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think that speaks volumes because, we were all on this like invisible timer of a time bomb. No matter what our age was, you don't have to be um middle age. You don't have to be a senior citizen. You can very much be young, just like Cindy had explained about her father passing at such a young age. You don't have to be considered older in age. You can still be young, and whatever we're feeding ourselves, part of that standard American diet, we can simply go at any point in time. It all depends on how much damage we're doing. It depends on how little our bodies continue to tolerate. So that's very profound right there, because we
That's
definitely are gaining a lot of time on our lives right now.
that's 100. Like, contrary to popular belief, 100% of us won't do
Yeah.
many things all together, but
Mhm.
100% of us will have a day that will be our last at some point in time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's gonna happen. We got to do the best we can with what we have. 100%.
absolutely. And that's why, like, a lot of photos that you see within the community of like before and after photos, that's why so many, they look so youthful now. They
Hmm.
look probably decades, some of them even younger, because of just how much healing, how much internal healing goes on in the body. So most definitely, we are definitely gaining a lot of years than we were providing ourselves before on the standard American diet.
Don't beat
Jasmine's also
yourself
saying
up.
here, yup,
No, don't.
Don't beat yourself up.
you can't.
Listen,
Don't
I
put
wasn't. I wasn't
yourself,
just.
yeah.
I wasn't just on the struggle bus. Like, I
Mhm.
was the backseat driver pointing out where to go on the struggle bus. I was that guy. So, like,
And I
don't
was
beat
the
yourself
driver.
up.
I was the
No,
driver willing to take on. I had that little door opener ready to take
right.
on whatever passengers to be on the pity bus, the struggle bus with me. So,
Uh,
Yeah, beating
absolutely.
yourself up will just keep you down that rabbit
Don't
hole.
do that to yourself.
It's
Just
hard when you do that.
know you're dealing with a moment.
Mhm.
Have that moment of you're taking that breather, so give yourself that moment to really kind of just whatever is going to help you. If you are a spiritual religious person, have those conversations. Have those conversations with God. Um, it really will help.
oh,
If you're not, that's okay. We're not, pushing religion on anyone. Journal, journal. I can't even tell you how much, because during my mental health therapy, I never saw myself as someone that would journal, but it's something about just getting it down on paper allowed you to unload so much that before I knew it, I started writing. I had like 3 or 4 pages
mhm.
written of just like everything just pouring out of me. So that's the best suggestions that I can make, but do not keep pondering in that moment. Know that you deserve this. Have that self-love, and then continue with that self-care that you need to do for yourself. But just know we all have those moments.
That's
And reach
right.
out to somebody else in the community, because
Mhm.
they're everywhere. I
Yep.
mean, we are here. It's like my sister and I have or we have had a chat going with her daughter, another two of our nieces, and ourselves, and we were all on keto. In fact, I did
Yeah.
a video a while back about a family update where all totaled, we had lost over 300 pounds.
Wow.
And it was powerful. It had each individual person's before story and their before and then photos. And it was just great. That was probably one of my favorite videos I've done.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Mhm.
There's so many amazing stories out there. And lately, I've had some of my high school buddies contact me that are trying this, and man, I'm so happy to see some of the people that I've known like my whole life, like from right around here, because I conversate with people all over the world, but like those people are finally starting to trickle down into the people that, like, I know they're like, all right, I'm ready to try it. I'm ready to give it a go. And some of them are finding some great success. They're feeling good. They're, getting things straightened out. And it's always amazing. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, it's huge because, that motivation, just leading by example is not just helping these individuals, their lives, but it's saving their life.
Mm-hmm.
Here
This
we
is
have
my sister
Deb.
with the question.
Shawn, how long after starting to eat proper human diet did you experience any positive results?
Oh, wow. So, like, the first month that I ate this way, I lost 45 pounds. So that was the first thing. But the absolute best thing that happened to me was the depression and anxiety, the suicidal ideations and stuff being lifted. It was, and honestly, it was about the 2 month mark. And I just, one day I was just like, man, it's been quite a few days now since I thought about, that line of reasoning. And I was like, it's amazing. So yeah, absolutely. It's, you could tell within the first couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, after you get sick and you hit what we call the wall of doom, where you can't look at another piece of meat, like you feel like you're going to go crazy and lose it if you have to even smell a piece of bacon anymore. Like, once you get past that and realize, like, this is it, I'm doing this, come hell or high water, I'm doing this regardless of who likes it or what I even think about it. I'm doing this. Once you get through that, like, that's when it starts getting good.
Yeah.
About
When
2
you get to
months.
that
About
point,
2
just
months is
fast a
amazing.
day or two. You'll want that meat after that.
Absolutely.
Fasting is
Absolutely.
powerful.
No, absolutely. Because that's when you natural fast. It's like you don't even, plan, like we had talked about, you're not designating, oh, I'm going to have 2 meals or 3 meals. Same goes for fasting. You're not forcing yourself, oh my gosh, I need to fast like 18 hours, 19 hours, 23 hours.
Oh, no.
Let it happen naturally.
Oh, yeah.
I had that issue too, because when I first started keto, very much so, I started to become very addicted to tracking, very addicted to intermittent fasting. And I was not doing it in the healthy manner that it was designed to do it in. I was not seeing the silver lining that at least we naturally fast in our sleep. So if you wake hungry, guess what? Your body is truly asking for proper nourishment. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel like you have to deprive yourself and feel like you're kind of putting yourself on like this starvation before you have that next meal. Because as long as you're fueling yourself with the right food, that's not something you have to hold off. If your body is truly asking for food, it's kind of like Dr. Berry says, when you're feeling what you're thinking is like those hunger cues, drink something first. Have a glass of water, see how that goes, wait some time, like, 30, 45 minutes. If you're still feeling that way, you are hungry. Allow your body to eat, fuel your body.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Your body, it's going to tell you whenever it wants more, I can assure you.
No, absolutely. Here, Christine sharing, I had a plan over the weekend and have paid for it. Nothing too out there. Some toast, a couple of cookies, 2 donuts, and some fruit. Now it's painting pants time, a timely reminder. Yeah, and I think that's kind of what puts things in perspective as well, is when we do go off plan, a lot of us don't feel very good coming off plan. You feel really crummy. Your body is not feeling its best. So I think that's kind of like another moment of having that self-reflection.
I agree.
Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Shy Wolf. So here, Ron's, that's why I did and why I started a channel. It's fun looking back. You never know who might be watching. Someday you might want to write a book. Oh,
I've been
yeah. Have
talking
you ever
about
thought
that.
about that, Shawn?
I have a name for a book. I've been thinking about that for a long, long time. Maybe one day. I got so much to say, but, like, I don't know. Just the time to sit down and do it, I guess. It's a good
Yeah,
idea
I
though.
could definitely, yeah, I could definitely see you putting on a book though. Yeah,
Yes,
addiction thrives when
absolutely.
you're alone, and addiction does not like strength in numbers, support groups. Oh yeah,
That's why
absolutely.
isolation is so. I always talk about it. I talk about it a lot because I've struggled
Hmm.
with it a lot, and I deal with it. I
Yeah,
don't. I can't. I'm not speaking on it just out of thin air. I'm not an expert. I don't have a PhD. Maybe I do have a PhD in isolation because I'm extremely good at it. But you know, but I literally get on here and share what I dealt with, what I have issues with, what I've learned, what I am learning, and
Yeah.
learning and back and forth with you guys, man. That's what's so great. You start
Yeah.
isolating. I have found that when I start isolating, stuff is wrong. You need to
That
start
means
checking
you're
it
going to
out.
get back on these live streams, right?
Right, I need to. That's a fact. That's a fact.
You are so inspirational and so motivational
hmm,
Oh,
to
thank you.
so many people. It's like, I mean, I sent your
yeah,
videos to my sons. It's like, would you watch this guy? I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm sure they're in their
hmm,
40s, and it's like they both need to lose weight and get healthy. And
Mhm.
obviously, I couldn't make that. I couldn't be the role model for them, even though I've done it.
Hmm. Well, I mean,
It's
hey,
like I have
they
sent
got to
them
make it
your
for themselves.
videos.
They got to make that
yeah,
decision. It's
Oh,
impossible.
I
I
know.
agree with Maria here too.
yeah,
Thoughts become things. What if we stop telling yourself you're an addict? I agree completely. I only
right,
tell myself an addict to remember because I still make dumb choices. And
yeah,
I think that I have beaten addiction as a whole, but then I'm like, oh, well, I can have a little bit of this cheese, and then a little cheese turns into a lot of cheese. And for me, I
oh
can't
yeah,
have it because it's like a doorway. Now, do I
hmm,
eat it? Yes, I eat things I shouldn't have from time to time. But I got to remember, I don't tell myself to keep myself beat up. I tell myself that to remind me, don't go
hmm,
thinking that you can do, because I had a plan and I had to plan for some content and it went completely awry for me.
right,
And there'll be some content coming to explain why later. But long story short, like when I started getting cocky and arrogant as far as my relationship to viewing addiction, I got to remember, listen, dude, you're an addict. I'm not underneath the addiction. I've been delivered from my addiction. But when I make those dumb choices, I got to remember, look, don't start getting too your head too big.
right.
Stay on plan.
Yeah, and don't it's all about perspective. Like, do not look at it as like a negative thing that we are identifying ourselves as we were
Hmm.
a food addict at one point in time, because I think that's really important to be able to have that accountability, because very much so you have to take accountability, because like
Oh
how are
yeah.
you going to know what you have to work on unless you claim every single thing that was troublesome in your life. So I think it's kind of like we have to not look at it as like a bad thing, like we are labeling ourselves. It's not about putting a label on it. It is about the accountability part of it.
Oh yeah.
Is really the way that I see it.
I love myself, but I can assure you,
Yeah.
like I have said some of the most hateful things to myself to get myself to realize, look, man,
Right.
when it make hard decisions, do hard things, because if left up to me, I'll just choose the easy way, just like the rest of us. None of us want to make life harder for ourselves. And that's
Mm.
not what making hard decisions is. Making hard decisions isn't saying, I'm going to make life harder for myself. It's, listen, I'm going to sacrifice what I want for what I need and do what I need and do
Right.
what I know is right for me to do over taking a temporary, momentary pleasure of having that food that isn't what I need.
Absolutely. So I don't know if you missed the part of our discussion where Cindy was mentioning about hack your health.
I am going to hack your health, and I am organizing a dinner for Friday night. And we have a few spots left open. If you check out my channel, my email address is there if you're interested. I'll give you all
See
the
my
details
mama.
there. Do what?
I
What,
said, "There's my
Sean?
mama. That's my mama right there.
Where?
Right there, Linda. on the screen.
Linda
Oh,
Howard.
really? Linda,
Mm,
oh my goodness.
that's my mama. Love you, mama.
Absolutely. I can do all things. Yep, it's
Yeah.
all about Christ. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that's the important thing. Like I said, if someone does not feel called to any certain faith, I think just being able to have just that spiritual connection is really important.
Mm,
And a lot of people have it in different forms. You can basically have that moment where there's peace in the house,
mm,
or even if it's like that little bit of like 10 minutes that you can squeeze in the morning before you head off to work, just to have that moment where you're having that positivity, that positive mindset that is going to set your day, is so important to give that to yourself. That is huge because it really, like, the first day might not really feel like it, but best believe, like, as you keep doing that, 30 days in, just that constant positivity
mm,
is going to change your mindset, because just having that positivity every single day to yourself, just speaking those kind words to yourself, or positive affirmations. So don't
mm.
think that when you hear anyone in the community talk about religion, they were called to religion for a certain
Oh yeah.
reason. They were either born into religion and had so much in
I,
their life go on that they stayed connected to religion for
mhm.
different reasons. But that form comes in many ways. So, no one feel like you're being forced. I think it's more so to have that spiritual connection in whatever
The
form you
relation.
can
It's a
get it in.
relationship. For me, it's a relationship.
Yes.
Listen, I'm not here to tell you you have to do things the way I do it. I'm just
Right.
telling you what worked for me. I knew that the food that I was eating helped me to move into a healthier way of life.
Yeah.
But none of the food that I was eating could do anything with the prior experiences and the
Mhm.
stuff that was haunting me from my past that was in my head. Okay. The only thing that could do anything with the mental issues that I had from the past that was already stuck in my head was having that relationship with my creator to take that stuff away and help me to process and deal through it. So that's the
Yep.
only thing. That's it. I would love to introduce you anybody who wants to know about Christ. I'm more than happy to
Mhm.
tell you about it. If you have never tried it,
Yeah.
what are you waiting on? Maybe that's the one
Right.
thing you've been lacking. I'm not telling you you have to. You can believe whatever you want. That's your business. I'm just
Mhm.
telling you that's worked for me, and it has worked amazingly. And like, listen, I love you either way.
Yeah.
Dustin's here.
Hey,
Yes,
Dustin, what's up, brother? I
Dustin,
was just talking about you
simple.
earlier.
Yes, Shawn was giving you a shout out earlier. So if you did not hear it, yes, he gave you a shout out earlier. But no, absolutely. And the heaviness that you feel, or these burdens that we put on ourselves, you don't have to carry that alone.
That's right. Burden is
Dr. Barry
joking.
and Jesus. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. I said there's two things. Well, I said carnivore and Jesus, but Dr. Barry and Jesus, yeah. The only person to save more lives than Dr. Barry was Jesus.
They both are definitely saviors, absolutely.
One can save your
Hello,
health,
Mike.
one can save your heart.
Exactly. Your heart and soul, absolutely. I'm the opposite. I can make it easy till noon without eating, but once I start, I'm constantly looking for food, and it's a fight not to snack after dinner. So what can you say on behalf of snacking, Shawn?
Get you a couple sticks of butter. That's what I did. Anytime before, if it was within 4 hours of bedtime, I would go take me a bite out of a chunk of butter.
Yeah. And I think we have to be careful too. Like, what are you snacking on? That's the thing.
Oh
And
yeah,
why are you snacking? Like, are you not eating to properly, comfortably stuffed?
I can
yeah. That's
answer
the
that.
thing. Eat some more. Yeah.
I can definitely answer that because I have the same issue, Yvonne. The
Yeah, I mean,
nighttime is sheer boredom for me.
mhm,
It's like I'm watching TV, just something to do. I have
Mm,
fought that struggle for a long time. Debbie said, "Thank you, Shawn. That answer gave hope to many folks."
yes.
thank you.
I'm trying to make sure to go through and highlight
I
everybody.
know. I'm just
Oh
trying
yeah.
to.
Well, and the thing too is a hobby. That's what it sounds like. You need a hobby,
Mhm.
like
Yes.
Something
watching
to do with your
TV.
hands.
Right, watching TV is the world sticking their ideas in your head without giving you a chance to have any input. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, we got all got to. When you're bored, you're gonna do what is you're gonna
Oh
be more
yeah.
likely to get into stuff like that. It's just how
Oh,
we
I
are. We
know.
look for something to do. I can see it even in my kids. They're like, man,
Oh
my
yeah.
daughter's. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm like, maybe you're not hungry. You're bored. There's a difference. You want the
Oh,
stimulus, that sugar
exactly.
shot in your brain, girl.
And that's the thing because like even in our city,
Hey.
before they had any proper like entertainment for just the youth out there, oh my goodness, were these children getting in all kinds of trouble. And it's not that they were not bad kids. It's just the boredom. It's like they
Hmm.
basically succumb to doing negative things because they thought, hey, it's something to pass our time. Um, they just filled the void for their time.
Hmm.
And I think that's really it. It's you have to kind of really analyze the situation. You really do. Because I can definitely tell you when I first had started going from 4 years keto to going carnivore, I was shocked of how much food I was actually taking down. Like
Hmm.
I was literally eating so much, like I would consider it like manly amount of food. I probably ate more than men out there. Um, and that's the thing. That is what it took to get me comfortably stuffed, especially initially. And I know you had spoke about this, Shawn, that
Hmm.
there was a lot you were eating initially. And that's kind
Hmm.
of what my body needed. Like I literally needed to get through that phase to understand what really got me comfortably stuffed. And then I want to say close to like 60 days in, I started kind of more so feeling like, oh my gosh, like I think I need to go OMAD, like one meal a day,
Hmm.
because then it's like you're really kind of at that point, really in tune with what really truly is hunger.
I agree.
And not
Absolutely.
just hungry, but true hunger.
Hmm. It's not like the hunger when you were on a standard American diet where you were getting shakes
Yes.
and all those things, man. Like when
Right.
like you can last for a while, but you better start looking for a place to land the plane. Get you some grub. Your body's gonna let you know though.
No, absolutely. So here you have another validation here. Shawn, you inspired me to transition to carnivore 11 months ago from being
Absolutely.
keto 5 years. Thank you. I'm so moved to tears that you are back here again, my neighbor, my friend, my brother in Christ.
Absolutely. Thank you, Susan. That's so sweet.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that
this is
means
my
that means
neighbor.
so much, Susan. Oh, it's your neighbor.
Well, neighbor. We live in
Nate.
the same town. Yeah.
Okay, so like a
Yeah.
true neighbor then.
Yeah, like I say, neighbor. My neighbor's my friend. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of folks from right around here at the house nowadays. Oh,
That's
mama.
really cool because then it really brings perspective to community. Because,
Hmm.
so many of us, when you start to kind of really put yourself out there in the community, you start to see like how close some truly are to you that you could have literally crossed paths with one another and not
Oh yeah.
even known it.
Well, I got a cool carnivore guy that owns a gym right up here, not far from the house here in Pickens, yeah, Pickens County. So yeah, he watches the show too. So that's all. That's my buddy. I play COD with. Yeah,
Oh,
games
that's really
online.
cool.
That's awesome, brother. Good to see you.
Yeah, like Karen says here, the community has grown so much, it's hard to keep up with it all. And that's the beauty
For
of it. I
sure.
think, especially with Shawn mentioning, his subscriber count and congratulations, but think of it like that is people. When you see that subscriber
Hmm.
count, that is such amazing validation because it really shows that people either are curious, um, they're consistent with wanting to do better in their everyday lives. I think that like speaks volumes. And, that's exactly what I'm going to say for those of you that expressed in the chat that you have a channel, your channel might be what's considered small, but understand your message is not small.
I
Understand
feel
every single subscriber you get, even if you have 10, understand that is 10 lives willing to tune into you to change their life.
absolutely. Yeah, I agree 100%. It doesn't matter if it's one. If there's one person that sees that their life was changed, they might be the person that reaches someone that you love, and that one person will be worth it. You know. So you never know. I
No,
miss you too, honey. Good to see you. Good to see you.
no, for sure. Everyone for sure missed you.
I know I still got to get Mike on too. Thanks for the love, brother. Love you guys too. Thank you too. I got more interviews lined up that I need to do than I've already done. I feel like so many good folks I need to get together with.
Hello, Annabella. So here, so Drew's
He's like,
gonna,
where you been?
yes. You
I
definitely
just
might have
I've
to
been away,
catch the
bro.
replay as well. Yes, you may have to
Yeah.
catch the replay because we've
Mhm.
had a lot of discussion throughout the live, of just, just kind of a explanation of why. But that's the thing, sometimes that's just the way life needs to be sometimes. Sometimes we need to be able to have those moments for ourselves, because it takes a lot, for anyone
Mhm.
that does have a channel understands, how much has to be organized behind the scenes. It's not just about editing videos. Like we have mentioned earlier, just kind of doing these lives is a huge commitment as well.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but we're more than happy to do it. We feel very blessed to do it because as we said, this live is definitely going to resonate with somebody and they're going to be able to get the message that they're going to need to hear. Annabella sharing, if you are hungry, then eat something. You don't need to restrict on carnivore.
I agree. If you're hungry, have it.
Just
I
Jesus,
agree.
Dr. Barry is not my savior.
I agree. Jesus is your savior. Dr. Barry is the one spreading the message of carnivore. That's how I found out. It's awesome.
Yes, for anyone that does not know, he went through a name change.
Oh yeah, it's Polish Mike now. Okay,
Yes.
that's right. You just changed your
Thankfully, your
name.
picture, yes. Thankfully, his picture didn't change, so that's how I recognized.
That's right.
Here we have Christy. Welcome to the
Hey
chat.
Chris, good to see you too, friend.
Yes, boredom and doing dishes with all the leftovers right there.
Oh yeah, sitting there with it all, looking at it.
Well, it depends what leftovers you have, is the thing, too. Because if you have like a plate of meaty goodness as your leftovers and your body is still craving more of it, maybe you needed to
Have
give
it.
your body more.
Hmm.
Oh, so here is a way that she fills that void for boredom, diamond painting.
I do them as well. I am working on one that's so big. It's of Mary and Jesus. It is
Oh wow,
huge.
Oh,
I
that's
just
cool.
started. It is so big. It's crazy.
you'll definitely,
It'll
when
be
you're
great.
finished, you'll have to feature that in a video because I bet
Yes.
that's going to be beautiful.
Yes, Donna, I can crochet some.
That's what I
Do
tell people.
Sudoku puzzles, diamond painting, all kinds of stuff.
Just come into carnivore. I tell them you better figure out some of those things that you always wanted to do in your
Yeah.
life, because you're gonna have time. You're gonna have lots of time. You're not gonna eat nearly as often. You're not gonna have to spend as much time thinking about food, preparing, or shopping for it. So you just get you a hobby, find some things that you've always wanted to do, and do that. That's life.
Oh, absolutely. And then once you start feeling, because I would say, even when I was on 4 years keto, I definitely started to get, something was causing me some issues where I started having aches and pains. Thankfully, 3 weeks into carnivore, I started like feeling so much pain alleviated. Because I
Mm,
also had a really bad limp because I also had a really bad heel spur
mm,
in one of my heels. So I could not put full on pressure on that heel. I was shocked. I was shocked for so much pain to be alleviated from it in just 3 weeks in. And then close to, I want to say like the 40-day mark, it was like completely gone. So best believe if I was feeling good that I was able to get back out there and enjoy life, because at that point in time, I felt like I was a prisoner to my own
mm.
house, to be able to have that joy of being able to just go out. Oh my goodness, was I going all kind of places. So
Oh yeah.
it's you're giving yourself, every single day you commit, because it does take commitment. You do have to be able to
Mhm.
commit, because you're not going to see those victories unless you have more on plan days than you do off plan days. So, I know we're saying to everybody, nobody should judge, do not feel the guilt, but still, yet try to keep as consistent as you can, because when I tell you, when you start experiencing those non-scale victories, you are going to be able to live like you've never lived before.
Absolutely. And the scale victory. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of people who drop a lot
Yeah.
of weight. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
just because you're not don't mean you're doing it wrong at first. It just means you
Exactly.
need more time. I mean, eventually it'll straighten out.
Mhm.
There's not a set number. You may be your body could be fighting cancer. Your body could be
Yeah.
fighting, issues that you had no idea that you had before you
Mhm.
start your weight loss. It could be helping reverse the type 2 diabetes rather than dropping the weight. Who knows
Right.
what's going on? There's not a button you push. I couldn't. I lost, like I said, 18 months or 15 months, 296 pounds. There wasn't a
Yeah.
dial that I hit to turn it all the way up on max. So drop weight like that. If I could, I would have hit it over and
Yeah.
over and over. I've been hitting that button for 40 years almost. It hadn't worked. So it's
Right.
just making the right choices.
Absolutely. So here we have a question. How's things like element affect carnivore, or is just water best?
I a lot of people love Element. I don't do. I try not to do anything with the flavors in it. The
Mhm.
non-flavored Element, if I
Right.
had that, or what is it? The Keto Chow.
Salts.
Keto Chow
Sorry,
day the
salty.
daily yeah the daily
Oh, they have
minerals.
the daily minerals, but then they also
Yeah,
now have the salty electrolytes as well. Yep. Yeah.
I love those things. I'm not a rep. I don't get whatever. I'm not promoting. That's what I use. I mean, the concentration of it's a lot better than what I normally like, or what I like. I got used to it. It's kind of strong, but I mean, it works.
Right.
See, again, I
My
wasn't the
wife.
first one to bring up Keto Chow, but I am an affiliate.
Oh, are you? There
I
you
am.
go.
So
So
you
she
can
does have a
save money
discount
clicking
link.
on my
Yes.
link
There you
to
go.
get
She's an
you those
affiliate.
daily minerals.
I would say this is one of those other things. Listen to your body. Um, you know, a lot of the professionals, medical professionals in the community, such as Dr. Barry, they do have a lot of videos pertaining to electrolytes. I would definitely say this is one of those things you truly have to listen to your body. Start with just water. See how you feel. But if you start feeling like you're feeling any type of like withdrawal, or
If you're
you
getting
feel
cramps
like
in your
aches and
legs and your
pains,
fingers and your
spasm kind of
toes
thing.
and
So these are like, signals that they'll tell you to look for when you watch their videos pertaining to this topic. So none of us on this panel are health professionals, but start off with just the water. That's just friend to friend advice. And then, like, if you're feeling any of those symptoms, like we're discussing, yeah, maybe you need to experiment. Like Dr. Barry and Nurse Nisha mentioned, N equals one, self experiment on yourself and try some unflavored electrolytes and see how that goes. See if you notice a difference. Because as we said, it's one of those things, it's hard to give and exact advice on, because like we said, all our bodies are going to be different.
Absolutely.
That's
There you
amazing,
go.
Peter.
Mhm.
Yep, stop measuring. Think about how you feel. Absolutely. Here's
One
Tina. I'm
thing,
so glad you're back on.
Oh yeah,
I'm eating good, but the struggle is every day.
one
absolutely.
thing I
Yeah,
wanted to add when you were talking about weight loss, that's just an added benefit.
oh yeah.
It's all the health benefits. That's an added side effect of eating this way
Mhm.
is the weight loss.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I've lost 100 pounds. Sean's lost a lot. Son has lost about 140
hun-
something,
151 pounds.
but it's
Um,
the health benefits
it's
over and
the health
above that
benefit.
that make this worthwhile.
And
That's
I
Agreed.
that's
think
for
that,
sure.
right. I think that's the biggest profound thing that Shawn was bringing across about the
Mhm.
scale is because some that start off or some that go from like keto to carnivore, I think there's kind of like this expectation that we're going to see a big jump on the scale. And I can definitely tell, anyone, you can go back and look because I did post because initially I did start off on like beef butter and egg. I did the elimination of bacon because I know, heaven forbid, I'm allergic to piggy. But if you looked, because I shared in the community and people were shocked because 60 days worth initially of just that, I lost a little bit over like 8 pounds. But when people saw my before and after, I had people making comments like, you may want to buy a new scale. You may want to check the batteries in that scale because they thought as if I dropped like a heck of a load more.
Oh
So
yeah.
you really truly, take those images, see the scale as just another piece of data. It's not a bad thing. We're not bashing if anyone wants to weigh in. If you want that data for yourself, by all means, but do not have it be the say all tell all on whether or
Mhm.
not you are being victorious in this way of eating. Because as Shaw mentioned, all of our bodies, like we're going to heal at a different pace. Like, understand we were all not on the standard American diet the same way, especially if we're from different countries. Understand what their standard was is a whole heck of a lot different than the processed foods that we have here. So for all of us, it's definitely, it's really going to be different.
Mhm. I
Yep.
know if I ever go strict carnivore, I better be losing some more weight. That's all I'm going to say because that's like, no, I have done, with the exception of Saturday,
And
going to that meetup. Since last Tuesday, I have done just that: ground beef or ground bison, eggs, and butter. That's
Yeah.
all. And
eggs. You said what now? Eggs and butter. What now?
ground beef or ground bison.
Hmm.
That's it. With the exception of Saturday, I went to the meetup and I had brisket and pork belly and pulled pork and
Sounds
keto
good.
coleslaw and all kinds of stuff. So all keto stuff.
There you
But
go.
yeah, it
I
was
know.
like it was what, Sean?
Oh no, I was reading out loud. I'm bad. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I
Yeah,
was
because
reading
I'm
somebody
trying to
said it's
go
been an
through and
hour.
feature everyone. Yes, because we've been going for like a little bit over an hour and a
Uh,
half. So I'm trying to go through quickly and
It's
highlight
almost
everybody.
past Sauna's bedtime.
I
Yes,
know.
I
Right?
wait at
My
two
computer
in the
keeps trying
morning.
to update.
She gets up at
Oh
2 or 3 in
no.
the morning.
Oh
Yeah, I
wow.
wake up at 2 in the morning to be at work at 3. Then I work anywhere from like a 10 to 12-hour shift. Once I get off the 10 to 12-hour shift, I'm off to homeschooling our boys. After homeschooling them, it's to take care of like whatever housework gotta be done. But
That's right.
like we were saying earlier, you fuel your body in the right way. Because even with me going through pregnancy right now, Come tomorrow, I'm going to be 27 weeks pregnant, that I said earlier in the live. So for whoever might have came in late, but I literally have to have those OB appointments. I literally have to have that ultrasound to really kind of put it into reality that I'm
Hmm.
pregnant, because when I tell you, being on, and I had to start to incorporate like some veg into my carnivore way of eating, but still yet I did not go through morning sickness like I
Oh
went
wow.
through with my two previous being on the standard American diet. I went through horrible, horrible morning sickness that I was sick literally the entire length of my pregnancies for my two previous pregnancies.
Totally different now.
Now, this time, nothing, zilch, not one moment of morning sickness that I experienced. So, I mean, if that right there is not like the best of the best non-scale victory, to go through a pregnancy and not have any of those like normal pregnancy negative feelings, I mean, what more can someone ask for?
Hmm. That's awful. Yeah,
This is another good point. Yes.
body recomposition is a real thing.
Uh-huh.
It's a real thing.
Yes, very good advice, Melanie. No, absolutely. Definitely get yourself a tape measure. A lot of times you can find them for like less than $1. Definitely would be a really good investment. So here, that's what I did, was keto to support my daughter. Didn't need keto, then turned carnivore. Didn't need carnivore, then realized that I did need carnivore, not for weight loss, but for other benefits.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's the
Good.
thing. It's like when you start or you take it on just to kind of be that support, because that was pretty much our story over 5 years ago. We started keto because our son was getting seizures, and he had seizures for like over a year, and he was having anywhere from 2 to 3 horrible seizures a week.
Oh
And
wow.
within like the first 30 days, nothing, nothing. And over 5 years later, he has not had a seizure. So we literally started because of our son. And here it benefited us all in the entire household. Like right now, we have a 7-year-old. He's never he's never been on standard American diet. He literally went from breast milk to eating the proper human diet. So
That's
it
what's up.
it literally it's life changing for everyone. Like Cindy was saying, her sister Deb was the one that started keto and then ended up influencing other family members. So a lot of times it literally either starts with you, or you start doing it just to be that support to somebody in the family, and you end up reaping the benefits as well.
Yep. 2 weeks after I started, my husband started, who is a type 1 diabetic. And he's seen so many benefits. It's just incredible.
And that's
That's
huge,
awesome.
especially as a type 1 diabetic.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Agree.
And here, morning sickness is due to lack of magnesium. Yeah, because I've been feeling amazing, thankfully. Like even the OB office, they were shocked because I did not experience any morning sickness. So here,
That's right.
Sana, how do you feel on veggies? So far, I have not had any issues. I do tread lightly with the veggies that I'm incorporating. I try not to kind of go too crazy because obviously, I did mention that in my keto journey, um, I feel like veg was starting to be an issue. So I don't know if it was possibly like the quantities of veg that I was starting to have on keto. I have not been able to pinpoint, but I have not had a negative or an adverse reaction to any veg that I've incorporated. Um, so I've been doing really good. I mean, even weight wise, you figure I started weighing in with my OB office. My first appointment was like mid January with them. And up until present date, because I just had an appointment last week, Friday, and I've only gained 3 pounds so far in this entire pregnancy. And they were shocked that I've only gained 3 pounds, because they said their typical patient at this point in time would have gained anywhere from like 15 to maybe like 25, 30 pounds. So they were shocked that I've only gained 3 pounds this far. I signed up for a DEXA scan at Hack Your Health. I'm scared. Haven't you done one, Cindy?
I did one last year. I commented to her.
Yes.
I talked to
Okay.
her.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because I
I'm not
remember
having another one, but I had one last year.
taking progress photos is a good idea. I take photos every 4 to 6 weeks. Yes, to definitely keep up with that comparison. No, I absolutely agree. Thank you so much, Donna. I appreciate you. I'm more aware of the numbers. It will give me the whole truth and such. Think of it as data. Like we
Don't
said,
worry.
it's data. Do what you want with it. Write it down. Look
I'll
at
just
it and forget about it. It's up to you what you do with that information, but don't allow it to stress you. Don't allow it to worry you because, like Shawn mentioned before, you don't want to affect your cortisol because that will do a lot more harm than that number on the scale or the measurement will do. Think of it as data.
I'll tell you, last year, my sister and I both had one. She's clearly smaller than I am and always has been. It weighed her heavier than me. And I was like, yes, for once, but it was definitely not that accurate.
There you
It was
go.
pretty funny. We made a joke about it for sure. Yeah, so don't worry about it. Just get it done. You'll have the results and you can take it to your doctor if you want.
That's right.
That's all.
So Annabella's asking what made you go back in veggie. So glad it's not a negative impact. So this was definitely some compromising that I had to do with the OB office. So it was either me going back to keto friendly veg or they wanted me to have carbs in the form of like potatoes, sweet potatoes, or rice, that sort of thing. So when I kind of gave them some pushback and told them that no, those carbs are not beneficial to me, not beneficial to the baby, and gave them a lot of pushback, I had kind of compromised with them that what if I do ketogenic friendly vegetables and kind of gave them some examples, and they were okay with that. So it's very much, you do have to compromise. I know there's a lot of people that would really, stand their ground when it comes to their OB or their doctor. But for me, it was more so a give and take because, these individuals are very much involved in my care, in my pregnancy, and I don't want to have to lie. I don't want to sugarcoat and make it seem like I'm doing what they're asking of me, but I'm not. So I really felt like I had to really compromise with them. Here, I hope it's not spinach is the worst of all the oxalate vegetables, plants. I totally get it. I totally get it. But, at a point in time, life is life. We do what we got to do. Once I can have this baby out of me, I can definitely get back to carnivore if that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
But for right now, I need to do what is going to be best for the situation and to be able to have a good relationship with my OB office because I have to have a repeat C-section. So it's not an option that I can go to a birthing center and have them have more of like a holistic approach or for them to have more of like a openness of being on whatever way of eating or whatever life choices you want like a birthing center usually has that ability to be very open. I don't have that option. I have to have a repeat C-section. My 2 previous pregnancies were C-section, so I'm at the point that I'm doing what I need to do for the relationship with my OB office and ultimately what I need to do for this pregnancy in their eyes. But Annabella sharing, I will never touch veggies. They make me depressed. Fruit hurts my body. You have to listen to your body. Like I'm saying, thankfully, nothing has impacted me. If I started feeling an adverse side effect to anything that I reintroduced, I would definitely stop. I would pump the brakes. Like, I'm not going to just keep eating something that's going to make me feel horrible. So understand, even though I do incorporate vegetables now, I'm still listening to my body. I'm still in tune with my body, and I'm not, overloading on any veg and then consistently being like, okay, well, I'm going to have XYZ veg and then like binge eat it. No, it's just a matter of incorporating the little bit of veg with a lot of my meat portion. Here, Susan sharing my 34-year-old daughter is 17 pregnant with her fourth baby. She's healthy, low carb. And you see, and she's doing
Mhm.
the very best for what she needs to do for that fourth pregnancy. So congratulations, Susan. Um, but absolutely. And I think that's what we really have to kind of change a huge mindset in the community. This is proper human diet. Straight across the board, this is proper human diet. If someone chooses to do keto, ketovore, carnivore, they are not losing by choosing one over the other. As long as they're listening to their body, as long as what they're doing is able to have them have gains in the form of healing, you are winning. So I
Mhm.
think that's really important. Because I received, unfortunately, when I did have to start incorporating veg, I had gotten a lot of negative feedback. And that's the thing. It's like, I'm still doing what's best for me. Like I
Mhm.
said, in this whole entire pregnancy thus far, I'm more than halfway into the pregnancy. And to say that I've only gained 3 pounds, which is possibly a little bit of inflammation because I've had to incorporate veg, still yet, that's huge in itself for
The
me to
big
be
thing for
able to
me
say
is
that.
that you know the repercussions of your
Mhm.
actions. It's not my job to make you do what I do or to make sure that you do what
Yeah,
you say you're doing. I feel like
right.
we can share what we share with others, and once you
Absolutely.
know, the buck stops with you. Then, like I'm not
Yeah,
going, nobody can make anybody else do something. Nobody.
exactly.
I don't have to be your arbiter. I don't have to,
Mhm.
keep tabs on you, keep a little journal, marking every time I don't. It's
Yeah,
not necessary. But I didn't know about this way of eating for so long, and
right.
I know that there's a lot of other people who never broke it down and really thought about it either, or
Yeah,
maybe they had heard about keto but not carnivore, whatever the case is.
right.
I just feel like we can make a huge difference by sharing that with
Oh, absolutely.
what you come to believe and hold to, and the decisions that you make at the end of the
Mhm.
day, 100% going to be on you.
That's the
I'm
thing.
not going to come to your house, kick in your door, and tell you how horrible you are because you had, some, some avocados this week or something. Like, I mean, this or some cheese. Like, it's not about that. Leave it
Exactly.
alone. Share what you know with others that work for
Right.
you. Encourage others. Try to be
Yeah.
there for them. And you're gonna see things starting to improve. And that's what this community has always been about.
And that's
Before you
absolutely
close out,
it.
I do want to give a shout out to everybody who jumped in with us, who tuned in. It's all the loving comments and stuff. I want
Yes.
y'all to know I appreciate every single one of y'all. I appreciate your time, the support, the messages, the love. Man, you guys are amazing. You know that, and there's going to be more of this to come. I saw Larry jump in. Larry, get ready, man. We got to get our show back. We got to get the band back together, bro.
Yes.
Yes, because there's definitely been a lot of people in the chat consistently throughout the live that have mentioned how much they miss the Friday lives that you guys do.
Larry knows though, bro. Larry's call. He calls me every week, man. And sometimes, well, I need to call him back. He called me the other day. I hadn't talked to him yet, but like he jumped in and
Yeah,
yeah, I appreciate Larry. I appreciate all the messages, the phone calls, the keeping up, checking on me.
yeah.
He doesn't know
That's
how
a
much he
true
means to me.
brother. No,
Love this.
absolutely. That's a true brother right there. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think you really touch that in the very best way because we have to make others feel welcome to this community.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
that very much so is going to be accomplished when we're not judgy. of what people are choosing to eat. Because as I said, this is proper human diet. You know, we should not have any separation that, okay, this group is keto, this group is ketovore, this group is carnivore. No, we are a community. Let's try to be a family unit all together under the proper human diet.
Yeah, because I would
Because
totally be hated right now.
to me, I won't lie to anybody when it comes to my channel. You know, I that's not the type of person I am. So best believe if I'm not going to do that on my channel, that is personally who I am out of this space as well. That very much is faith wise with me, that I'm not going to lie. That is very much integrity wise with me. I'm not going to lie. So at this point in time, I mean, it is what it is. You know, if somebody's choosing to eat whatever spectrum of the proper human diet, you just have to be really in tune with your body to make sure you're not feeling any adverse side effects, that you're not having any souls when it comes to healing. As long as you're keeping in tune with all of that, don't make a problem out of something that is not a problem. You are doing what is best for you. Do not feel guilty about it. Do not feel like anyone can come across dogmatic to you. You got to ignore. You know, there's so much in the community. You just have to focus on you. Like we mentioned earlier, do not see it as being selfish. Focus on you and what you got to do, because you can share this journey with everybody, but at the end of the day, it is your journey. It is your body. Only you knows best, because guess what? You're living within that body.
And it's a full-time job. If I can just get me straight, man, I ain't got time to mess with y'all.
But no, we absolutely appreciate you, because we definitely did go a lot over. It's funny because I had told Cindy, because of the 10-hour shift I put in and because of the homeschooling day that we had, I told her, I said that let's try to go only for an hour.
That's what I always think to myself too. You know, listen, about an hour's good. You know,
Yes.
what can you say past an hour? But like somebody said in the chat a while ago, time flies when you're having fun. So,
No, absolutely. When you're
it's
in
been
good
a great time.
company,
Appreciate you guys having
yes.
me on. And same
No,
to you.
it always goes that way. When you're in good company, and then, you know, the topic is such that it's such a inspirational and just a meaningful topic, it's definitely easy to definitely go over by a lot. But no, we absolutely appreciate you, Shawn. Thank you so much. And I'm so
Yes.
happy that you agreed to do this, because as you can see, we've all very, very much missed you. And you know, your presence in the community, even though I explained previously before that you have kept up with beautiful inspirational posts on Facebook, there's nothing like actually seeing you live and seeing your face and getting that full on experience of intentional carnivore. But I want to give you the opportunity, if you want to send everyone off with some closing words. I want to be able to give you that opportunity, because we've had just such a beautiful evening together. And thank you so much to everybody in the chat, because as we say on our Friday nights, you know, it's definitely hectic on Friday nights, because, you know, there's so much everyone could be doing on their Friday night, but even more so on a Monday, getting back into the grind of things on a Monday can get tricky. So thank you so much to everyone in the chat that definitely has put that time in to join us. We definitely appreciate you all. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it up to you, Shawn, to give us some closing words.
Oh, just like I said before, man, like, listen, there's no better day than today to make the change in your life. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that have messaged me, a lot of people who have seen you know, some of the other videos, man. They've seen the success that I've had and many other people in the communities had. Um, you know, it starts with one decision one day. Today could be the day. There's no sense in to keep kicking that can down the road. It's not going to just fall out of the sky and get better all of a sudden. It's going to be some work. Every day is not going to be easy, but I promise you, if I can do it, you can do it too. I know you can. And it's not going to be a straight from where you are now to success is right here. You just step into it. But every day you make those decisions, every step forward that you make, you're getting closer and closer to where you much rather be than where you are right now. And there's hope.
Right.
There is hope. I was hopeless. I lost all direction. I was depressed. I couldn't see life continuing on. And that, God saw fit to enable me with the knowledge through vessels like Dr. Berry, like so many others in the community who are sharing their journey and their story. And I feel compelled to do the same thing. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you guys for the likes, the watches, the shares, the comments, the emails. Whether it's on my channel, on Cindy's channel, on Santa's channel. Listen, we appreciate you guys so much. We can't thank you enough, and we look forward to seeing you guys again real soon. We love y'all and appreciate you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you so
Bye,
much. Beautiful
everybody.
closing words. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support this evening. We definitely appreciate you all. Until the next one, take care, everybody. Stay blessed.
Have a good
See
night.
y'all.